And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Going once, going twice, sold!
$75. Oh, wait. How much? I don't want to buy it. Auctions are exciting things. All right. Nowadays, people have been kind of lukewarm on auctions in a sense because on eBay, you carefully place your auction in. But the reality is that in real life, auctions can be excited and you can stand up and scream a bid just because you get caught up in the auction, which is why if I'm trying to fundraise for something, a live auction is always much more exciting because people get frantic and they'll spend more money than they normally would because they get caught up in the, oh, she's a 5, 6, 30, okay? And stuff like that's fun. The problem is, in board games, auctions have become often a boring thing, where one person will say 17, next person will sit there and think for a really long time, count out their money, count out all the points on the board, and then say, 18. Then the next person counts. And it can be really boring and mind-numbing, and if you make a mistake, you're out of the game. Going, Gone, which is designed by the very popular Scott Nicholson, who did his own video review series, which inspired the Dice Tower video review series. Go back and watch them. They're fantastic. And he's actually done an overview of this game, but he is biased, obviously, for it. We're going to take a look at it and tell you what we think of this real-time auction game. In this game, you're trying to get collections of different items. You have here baseball cards and toys and board games and music and fast cars and paintings and comics. Each of these items, there's 7 different items, and each item is in a deck 7 times, 1 for each country. You'll notice that there are different countries with different color backgrounds for each of the different items. So a set can either be objects that are the same item, or they can be objects that are the same country. The goal of the game is to have the most money at the end of the game. At the beginning of the game, everyone is given 25 cubes, which you can think of as bucks. Normally, I'm not a fan of cubes in games, but in this case, they work quite well, and you'll see why more in a moment. But when you sell these collections, you can sell them at any point or even at the end, you will get a certain number of bucks that you can add. And so players will have 25 cubes that they're starting with. There is quite a few more that they can add up to. And if they go above that, there's even these little 10 coins you can take. At the beginning of each round, you're going to randomly take 7 cards from the deck and put those cards next to the different cups here. There's 5 cups in the middle of the table. 2 of the cups will get 2 cards each. The other 3 will get 1 card each. One player is given the rules to the game, which are coincidentally put on this big panel board here, and that person is going to count down from 10 as an auction. So they could count slowly, like 10, 9, 8, or they could say 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You know, you can count at any speed you want when you're the counter. It just has to be consistent. While that person is counting, different players, all simultaneously, will be dropping cubes into different things. Throwing them in whatever one they want. You can not throw cubes in, you can throw cubes in. But when the person who's counting gets to 1, then they will say gone and put the board on top. Now my single gripe about this game, by the way, these cups are great quality. My single gripe is it's very easy to bend this board here if you're holding it only by the handle. So play with at least a thumb here. For when you slam it down in excitement, this handle could possibly bend. I'm going to have to reinforce mine, and it's none of your business who the excited person was who bent it. After an auction is closed, you'll check each cup and you will see the cubes that are in that cup. Whoever bids the most cubes is going to win the auction, and their cubes, their bucks, are placed out of play in the box. They can get them back later by selling collections. Everybody else gets their cubes back. If there's a tie, like here there's a tie between yellow and green, then if either yellow or green is holding the paddle, they will win the tie. Otherwise the tie is broken clockwise from the person holding the paddle. So players can bid a couple cubes, they can bid a lot. Once all the auctions are done and players have gotten their cards, players will take their cards and put their cards face down in front of themselves. You can sell any sets that you want which is usually not worth doing unless you need an influx of cash. And then 7 more cards are dealt out. A new person is the auctioneer, and you keep going. At the end of the game, players will take all the cards that they have and sell them in sets, taking that many points plus however many bucks they have left over, and whichever person has the most bucks is the winner of the game. Now, there are variants that you can play. Scott mentioned that you can play so that you have the cards face up when you take them rather than face down. You can also make the game a dexterity one if you want, where you put the cards like this and there's a box and people are throwing the cubes in, trying to make them land. Of course, this completely changes the idea of how the game plays, but it does meet Vasel approval for playing it this way. All right, the very first thing I have to say is that every time I have played this game or introduced this game, it has gone over so well. It has worked well with 4, 5, and 6. I don't think I've played it with only 3, but I've played it with all the other mouse players and multiple times, and it has just, everybody has had a blast playing it. The idea of throwing cubes into cups to control them, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, getting those cards, sets of cards, that's really kind of boring. It's really not that interesting. Ooh, I got 5 comic books. Ooh, I got 5 Canadian cards.
But just throwing the out was fun.
But putting out the cubes? Woo! Super fun. What do you think?
I thought it was fun, especially the time when you had to put down the thing, smacking hands while you do it, who are trying to get
That's
the last
right.
cubes in.
I will smack your hands if I'm the auctioneer.
And you also got to remember how many cubes you have and try to spend them wisely at the same time. That's what I did, but sometimes it didn't work. Because
the cups are clear, you can see into them, kind of, sort of, and everyone's putting out cubes. So, you know, in a real life auction, I say 5, you say 6, I say 7. Here I can put in 5 cubes, and you can sit there and go, oh, okay, I'll put in 6. But we have 10 seconds total. And it's really funny as everyone's hands rush in, and the board's coming down, and the speed that people count at. I mean, I played games where people would go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you know, and there's just cubes. Okay, so I think it's very possible that there is a contingent of folks out there who will not enjoy this game. You know who you are. They're the people who, you know, they're like, I want to put this piece here. Now let us ponder that. Those people will not enjoy this game because this is fast and furious. I mean, it is hat blowing off, tie behind your neck. Crazy game, and I love it. And it's not long. 7 rounds, what is it, 20 minutes, 30 minutes games?
70 seconds.
What do you think about, any other thoughts on the game?
That the cups were cute. I liked how they were like nice cups.
I like how a lot of these game commands are cute all the time, but all right.
I'm a girl. Well, it was fun throwing the cubes out and, well, like, counting them at the same time. I always got cards I didn't need, and he would take the ones I wanted.
Now, in a lot of games of this that I've played, I've noticed that people are overbidding. They are, because they get caught up in the excitement, and that's very possible to do. Also, you know, selling sets during the game is usually not a good idea unless you run out of cubes. Usually it's best to wait to the end. You can play with open bidding, closed bidding, throwing the cubes. There's lots of different ways, but basically this game is a single mechanic. I mean, it's set collecting, so I guess it's 2 mechanics, but the real-time bidding. And I think that is a brilliant mechanic. I think that Scott has put together a really fun game here, and I think a lot of people are going to like this. This is definitely going onto my shelves. Going, gone. And your final opinion?
2 thumbs.
2 thumbs. I would give it more than that. I really enjoy this. Going, gone. Well, maybe you're an alien.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Tom, will you please shut the door?